What's up, guys? Dakota from Fitment Industries.
And the reigning champion of Mario Kart is here for another episode of This or That. Dakota, what happened? Do you want to inform the viewers as to what happened to the
I'm going to be pretty honest. I don't want to talk about it at all, but okay, so first race, first place, easy. Second race, first place, easy. Third race, maybe a little bit cocky. A little bit cocky, but I wasn't worried. I thought I could lose the rest of the frickin' races and still come in first.
If you guys don't remember, every single month we do a wheel giveaway. So this month I believe we're doing one with ESR.
Correct.
And then we do some sort of competition where we represent a potential winner. With that being said, we're gonna bring it into another set of difficult, questionable choices on the next episode of This or That. So you can drop a comment below on whether you'd want us to choose between this or copyright strike that. So with that being said, don't forget to subscribe. Greg, hit us. Not literally, but.
All right, and question number one is custom wide body kit or a wide body kit that everyone else has?
So I guess what I would, that's tough, because if you do custom, it's gonna take so much time.
And you don't even know if it's gonna look good.
You don't know if it's gonna look, yeah. Oh my God.
I will go. I would say custom off, like one-off kit, because there are so many people doing the wide body stuff that I would risk it. I'd risk it for the biscuit and try and do something unique, then do something that's like guaranteed fitment, because you will mess up. I mean, there's been times where I've messed up personally, but I think it's worth the risk. I think if you're gonna if you plan on keeping the car for like a long time, and that is like the mod to end all mods for you, then I would do it.
That's true. That's really fair. I respect that, but
I disagree.
I disagree. And it's only because I'm gonna be completely honest here, maybe I'll get bashed a little bit, I don't know, but I do not have the knowledge whatsoever to make a custom wide body for my car, and I really don't wanna attempt it. So therefore, making a one-off custom wide body is gonna be expensive as f***,
Yeah, I do.
and I'm broke as f***.
I do. I imagine like people are like, yeah, my wide body's custom. They're like, oh really? What's the name of the brand? And they're like, SSAX eBay. they like cut like half a corner or like half an inch off both sides and like custom kit, custom one-off.
Anyways, I'm going with the one that everybody else has because no, and I'm so against that normally, but in this specific case,
yeah.
I'm not even gonna go wide body. But if I had to pick, I would do that because I know it's gonna fit. I know what it's gonna look like already, and it's most likely way cheaper than a custom one-off one, unless you're building it with like cardboard fiber pieces or anything like that.
All right, and question number two is Rocket Bunny R35 or Liberty Walk 458?
I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna pick the Liberty Walk 458. I think it's just because I like the car more. I mean, it's obviously a much more high-end car, not bashing the R35 GTR or anything like that, but overall I think it would look way nicer, and I've never driven a Ferrari, so I'll go with that.
I would go with the 458 just because I like the looks a little bit more, and I like Liberty Walk's kits just a little bit more. I think it just has to do with, it's a more aggressive across the whole body versus I feel like a lot of Rocket Bunnies are more about the over fenders, and they kind of stick to the over fender area.
Right.
So that's just my opinion, though I don't own either, so.
All right, and question number three is tire lettering or spiked lug nuts?
That's a trick question.
What is that supposed to mean?
That's a trick question.
It's a trick question?
Do you know why it's a trick question?
Now you're making me contemplate my whole life.
Let's guess on three. You ready?
What do you mean? No,
One,
I don't even have a guess, Alex.
Three?
Because you don't want neither, or what?
Wow. Okay, so like spiked lug nuts are sometimes seen as like not cool by like people.
Sometimes Porsches seem not cool to some people too.
Well, they aren't.
Anyways.
I would say tire lettering, honestly. I like tire lettering just a little bit more than spiked lug nuts. I just think because you can make tire letters work on pretty much anything, and I know when I say that it's a very vast generalization, but I don't think you can put spiked lug nuts on everything, or like spiked lug bolts on everything. And I think with the right wheels, you don't really have to go spiked lug nuts.
It's true. Spike lug nuts are really specific to each car. Like on Jared's car, I actually like them. I think it goes good with the super deep lip and wheel on that. I'm also gonna pick tire lettering. I've had tire lettering on my car. I really liked how it looked. And it is pretty universal among cars. I mean, I guess if you have a big stretch going on, don't put tire lettering on. That'd look weird, and I don't like that.
I feel like if no, we just won't even get into it. I feel like we
But anyways, yeah, my pick is tire lettering.
Okay. So question number 4 is a Stance muscle car or a JDM rat rod?
I want to Stance a muscle car. That's my pick right off the bat. I'm going to say it because I always talk about this with my buddy. Like, we're at the bar, it's 12 a.m., we're drunk, and it always comes up. We want to take an older Camaro, dump it on its face, put a splitter on a big wing, 2JZ, piss everyone off. I just have always wanted to do that. And you see it every once in a while on the internet, but like if you go to car shows, it's not too often you have like a stanced out Mustang, older Mustang or Camaro or anything like that.
And I would agree with Dakota on that one. I'd probably say a muscle car, like JDM, a domestic car, and put the big old wheels on it, the big chassis and all the canards and all the aero and stuff. I think that would be a really different look. And then if you go like Tokyo Drift and throw an RB in there or something like that instead of or an SR, whatever it was, who knows?
Right.
It was a movie.
But a JDM rat rod would be cool because I don't think I've really seen them. It's always like with older Fords and stuff like that they do them with.
I just don't know if I could see like a Japanese car all cut up and laying frame and think that it's as cool. Because like
That's true.
What makes the rat rod so cool is how a lot of them, how boxy they are. And even like the more round stuff is just so big and beefy that it kind of like demands presence, whereas a lot of JDM cars are actually kind of smaller and rounder and things like that. So it's like, I try to imagine maybe an NSX or something all rat rodded out, but I don't know. I just don't know if I could picture it.
I was gonna say, it's hard to even picture how it would turn out.
On the ground, I mean.
It like, someone do it and post on the internet, please, so then maybe we can change our answers.
All right, and question number 5 is Need for Speed or Midnight Club?
If you get this wrong, I'm not sure we can be friends anymore.
Okay, so now I'm opted to pick first. I'm gonna choose Need for Speed because, and I played both. I played the of both.
Yeah, I still have the dub edition
but
sitting at my house.
Need for Speed Underground and Need for Speed Underground 2, I mean it wholeheartedly, changed my life. Dude, I think that's when I first actually really got into modifying cars and the idea of modifying cars. I remember my white Civic slammed on some dub wheels and some green underglow, and I thought I was the coolest
Remember how
little
every
kid.
Single car you had the doors that opened upwards. You had these upward doors. I remember dub had a stranglehold on the aftermarket car community in the mid early 2000s. Because you think about it, they had their own dub edition car game. They had
Midnight Club dub edition.
Their wheels were everywhere. Their style was neon lights and the LSD doors. That was all them. So, wow, anyway, trip down memory lane. I would say Need for Speed as well. I would say my favorite one out of all of them would be Underground and Most Wanted. I think Most Wanted, the oldest Most Wanted, takes the cake as number 1. Simply because I loved climbing the blacklist or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
I always try to I would try to keep my car as stock as possible to make it as hard as possible because I kept replaying the game because I'd have so much fun with it. So yeah. Anyway, next question, Greg.
All right, and that was the last question, but I do have a bonus one for you guys.
Oh
Ding 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 ding! Congratulations, you won.
And it is floaters or spinners.
You pick first on this one. I think I picked
floaters or
first.
Spinners. So
you better not get this wrong. I don't know what the right answer is, but
okay. Proper spinners are very cool. If you go out and you look at real expensive spinners on a proper car that deserves, I think they're actually pretty neat. I would never do it, but I've seen some pretty interesting spinners before. Whether that's on Escalades.
Yep.
I've seen them on a couple donks and stuff like that. And
yep.
Actually it's almost, there are some spinners out there right now that actually have a very 3-piece-ish floating spoke style, and then the spinner part is another thinner plate, so it actually isn't super I don't know, bulky, and it actually it doesn't look bad. I would probably never put it on a car, but
so you've looked up spinners a lot, huh?
I mean, I keep an eye as to what
for when it's coming back.
Old favorite type of wheel when I was 10 years old was. So
I was gonna say when I moved into my house when I was about 10 years old, my neighbor, he owned a nail salon and he had spinners on his Civic.
Is going
I know, I'm sorry, but it's a good story because I remember I was riding in the truck with my dad and we come around the corner and I see him pulling out of his garage and there's a spinner and I was just like,
what are those?
What in the
Yeah.
You only see it in Need for Speed or something like that. But I'm gonna pick floaters, even though that story went way out. Anyways, Floaters, because I remember the first time I seen those too, driving on the highway, and it's just sitting there. I don't know, it's something about them. You don't see those very often.
Yeah, they're weird looking.
They're weird, and I like that. I like that it's weird. I wouldn't personally do it to my car ever, but I guess I wouldn't do spinners either. So if I had to choose one, I'd be weird as and I'd go with the floaters.
Well, there you go. There's the bonus question. We're excited to see you have the focus on some floaters in about 3 to 5 months.
Okay, well, the Porsche's on spinners. Perfect.
Yeah, that would be baller. Anyway, you guys want to drop a comment on the next so we can use it for the next episode of this or that. Make the questions like as difficult as humanly possible and try to keep them automotive related. But like the toughest ones that you have, I want you to throw at us, and hopefully we have some banging ones in a couple weeks as well. But anyway, don't forget to subscribe. I'm Alex.
And I'm Dakota.
And if you're checking out Wheelstar Suspension, fitmentindustries.com before I forget to
Nope.
got the plug. We'll see you later. Peace. Why are you still waving?